Good evening, everyone. Welcome to our first episode of the Post-Market Vibes. I have with me Great Dane, and I'm Mr. Jane. So every Saturday night, Great Dane and I, we drive home from market together, and we just have some epic post-market gems, and people have really been telling us that we just need to let the world in on this, and so that's what we're going to do. We're going to start this podcast. You all can continue to join us. It'll be every Saturday night about 4:30, 4:35. We'll be jumping on here and recording a podcast for you guys. So tonight we're going to talk about a mixture of things. Great Dane has this epic car we're going to touch on, and then we would also like to touch a little bit on what Tom Brady will do with the Buccaneers this year. So it should be interesting. Stay tuned, and we will have an epic episode here. So, yes. Great Dane, can you tell me a little bit about your car?
We could even call it an episode.
Yeah, episode. There you go.
So yeah, about my car. Thank you for that introduction, by the way. So my car is a let's just say it's a really, really nice car. I've been blessed with a few years behind the wheel in that car. It was my first car, and yeah, it's pretty epic. I could never have imagined to have a first car like it. It's silver, so it's the most expensive color, obviously, next to gold, and it is a foreign make. It's a Mitsubishi, so yeah, it's
all kinds of power under the hood. Rumbles when he starts. Rumbles.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And it even squeaks sometimes.
Yeah.
But anyhow, so I was noticing that the horn stopped working the one day. I mean, this was a while ago. Actually, let's back up. So, like a year ago or so, I was driving through a town, and all of a sudden, a guy pulled out in front of me. So I laid on the horn, and the horn just never stopped. So I was there driving through town.
Can you just imagine, Great Dane? And he lives in Coatesville, by the way. So this is like driving through the city, guys.
I'm just like driving through the city with my hands like this. I'm not doing. It was the worst thing ever. And then I got to my friend's house, and I was there fiddling with the fuse for like 10 minutes until I finally got it shut off.
And he had all the neighbors come running. They couldn't figure out what's going on anyway. So
that might have happened.
Okay.
I'm telling the story, but anyhow, so so I pulled the fuse, and then later I got it fixed, but then about half a year later it shut off again, and so for the last half year I've not had a horn. But then the other day my horn just started working, and so I don't know, I didn't really know how to feel about that, because I was just kind of, sometimes you get mad and you hit the horn, and I can't beep it, so I do it all the time. And then my horn just randomly started working. So I wasn't sure what was happening, and also my windshield wipers were squeaking before, and then that same day they stopped squeaking. So I was like, my car just went into auto fix mode, and
it's a mode that only foreign cars have.
I don't really know if that's a good thing, because my car only has so much left to give, and it's wasting all of its energy on giving me the horn and fixing the windshield wipers. And so I don't know. What do you think, Mr. Jane? Do you think it's good that my car is fixing itself, or is that a little strange?
Yeah, well, I think it's just a little bit strange how your car just all of a sudden goes into auto fix mode. But those foreign-made cars, that's kind of, you get what you pay for.
Right. And I paid lots on it, probably at least 25.
And definitely probably a lot over the years to get it all fixed up, right, and everything.
Yep.
But you all should comment below in the post, or in the comment section, and you all should just comment on different cars that Great Dane should consider buying. He's considered buying a new one, and so just let him know exactly what you think he should buy, some of the things that's worked, that's not worked for you over the years, and so
drop those comments below. Also, for future episodes, we want some topics to talk about, and it'd be great if you could drop some topics down in the comment section as well.
Yep, and so don't forget to subscribe. Anyway, so
like, subscribe, follow, everything.
Yep. And so, and make sure you stay tuned in for every Saturday night at 4:30, 4:35. And so let's talk a little bit about Tom Brady here. So obviously, Great Dane and I, we have a great difference in our opinions and the way we feel about Mr. Tom Brady, the GOAT, And so, you can kind of tell. So we've got a little bit of difference here. So what do you think, Great Dane? What do you think Tom Brady's going to do for the Buccaneers this year?
So first of all, let's lay the ground. Let's lay the groundwork here. Tom Brady doesn't need to do anything on the Buccaneers to prove anything. Tom Brady has proved everything. He doesn't need to prove anything.
Whatever.
He is the greatest quarterback of all time. John Allen somehow disagrees, or Mr. Jane somehow disagrees.
Yeah, wait.
I don't know where that came from.
I don't either.
Yeah.
So we'll just scratch that out. So
Somehow he doesn't think Tom Brady surpassed Joe Montana, but I don't really understand it. But so yeah, he doesn't need to prove anything on the Buccaneers. I don't think it's going to be a Super Bowl run this year. I mean, he is aging a little bit. That was shown last year. Last year he was more of a game manager. He wasn't the star quarterback that he's been in the past. Which he's an old man, or he's getting old. So
what do you think with adding Gronk? Do you think that did anything for them? Like, do you think it's going to give Tom Brady just another boost of energy?
Yeah, I think that's going to be big for Tom Brady this year. Having his boy back, because I don't know. It's just like it's a new place, but it's still Brady and Gronk, and Gronk's just always been there when Tom Brady's needed him, and Tom Brady missed Gronk last year, and it'll be good for Tom Brady to get it back. Gronk will need to gain a few more pounds because he's not the same big dude that he was bullying players earlier in his career. He's thinned out a lot since he's retired the second time. But yeah, so what do you think is going to happen next year, John?
So John. Really?
I'm sorry.
Okay, we don't know where that came from. But so, just to make myself clear, I'm not saying that Tom Brady is a bad player, okay? I just personally...
Oh, wow.
No, I really don't.
Newsflash, Tom Brady's not a bad player.
Okay, so I'm not saying Tom Brady's a bad player, but I don't think he... Okay, let's not even go into this, but I really don't think he is the greatest of all time, okay? I don't like cheaters, for one, and I don't like people that have to cheat their way through life. But anyway, with all that being said, I really do believe that... in the beginning of last season, I said I had made a bet actually that the Patriots will not win a playoff game, and that bet actually came true. I just didn't feel like Tom Brady was going to do anything. I felt he has about all that he had to give to the Patriots. But for some reason, I have this feeling that with new life, new team, new look, Gronk back, I feel Super Bowl run. I really do. I feel they're Super Bowl contenders, and I think Tom Brady's going to come in. He's going to have an epic year, and he's going to go out. He's going to go out well.
Yeah. One thing we forgot about last year is he had nobody around him, and he's an old quarterback. He needs the weapons that the Buccaneers can provide for him, and if they can protect him in the pocket, they're going to be lethal on offense.
Yeah,
if their offensive line can hold up, they will be lethal.
And we also got to remember that not only did Tom Brady not have the weapons last year offensively, but even the offensive line. It wasn't there like it was other years. He definitely, if you go back and watch tape, he definitely didn't have the protection that he did in other years for the Patriots.
Yep.
So was there anything else you wanted to touch on Tom Brady and the Buccaneers?
Did you see the Rob Gronkowski signing coming?
You keep hearing it, and it was this thing where everybody was like, is he going to? Is he not going to? It was one of those things I just kind of put in the back of my mind and said, you know what? I don't really think so. I think he just wants to get everybody excited. When he did actually sign, I wasn't necessarily surprised, and yet I was. If that makes sense. So, what did you see in that? Did you see it coming?
Yeah, I absolutely saw it coming. I listened to Part of My Take, the Barstool Sports podcast.
Great podcast.
And they, PFT's dog Leroy had predicted it, and I go by what Leroy says. Shout out Leroy. So I actually figured it would happen too, and sure enough, it happened.
Yeah, that's amazing. I think that was, anyway, huge for Tom Brady to have Gronk back on it, to have his boy back, like you said earlier.
Yeah.
And so, anyway, let's touch also a little bit about the Eagles in the draft. Like, really, I was like, we're both huge Eagles fans. So, anyway, like, just talk a little bit about Jalen Hurts. Like, why? So, what do you see in it? Why Jalen Hurts?
When I first saw the pick, I didn't see those Eagles at draft. I just saw Jalen Hurts got taken, and then I looked at it, and it was the Eagles took him, and I was like, what is happening? But at first I was like, why? Like, what do we think we're doing? But then, as I thought about it, I'm like, we have Doug Peterson as a coach. Doug Peterson ran ran the Philly special in the Super Bowl. Like
who does that?
He got some guts, and so I think Doug Peterson will scheme something up on offense. I think we'll see some 2 quarterback sets. I think we will, and I think we'll see a lot of like somewhat what the Ravens ran a little bit this year with Lamar Jackson and RG3. I think we'll see some of that. And the thing about if Jalen Hurts would just be a traditional quarterback, I would have a lot more questions. But Jalen Hurts is not just a traditional quarterback. He's an insane athlete, and he is very good with running the ball and handling the football. So I think we'll see some of him in the backfield, and I think it's just going to be. And did you see how happy Doug Peterson was when they picked him?
Absolutely.
Like
just a smile on his face. We all know what Doug Peterson has something up his sleeve. I think first when I seen it, I was like, you have got to be kidding me! Like, not another Howie move. But the more I thought about it, the more I was just like, to add that kind of athlete to our team, that kind of speed, great ball handling, like you said. I think we'll see a lot of him and Wentz teaming up. And in all reality, we don't like to go there, but in all reality, we know over the 5 seasons we have a franchise quarterback that has never completed one playoff game yet, and that's really sad. He's been in the league for 5 years, and he hasn't completed one playoff game. And so I think if we look at it into reality like that, had we had somebody like Jalen Hurts last year against the Seattle Seahawks, I think we could have maybe finished the game. Not taking away what Old Man did, okay? He did an amazing job. But I believe
that was unbelievable to watch that Seahawks game.
Yeah, it was unbelievable.
We had a 45-year-old guy just going out there
and he was tearing it up.
And he
really
was running the football, and I was just like, what is happening?
Well, I think we were all. I'm excited for another great year of football. Really excited for that. And so, anything more on the Jalen Hurts?
No, I think that's all I have on it. One thing I think we should touch on a little bit is softball season this year.
Yeah.
We play for a team, or he would be the coach of my team. So this is a great podcast because he happens to be my boss and my coach and my Sunday school teacher. And so we connect on a lot of different ways, and we see things from a lot of different point of views. And so it's an interesting connection.
And it's amazing, he's just an amazing young man. I think let's touch a little bit on softball, and then I have a little something else I would like to touch on. So go ahead. What do you have in mind?
So I don't know. All the parks are closed, so the Amish teams can't practice anymore because the Gap Softball League is going to get shut down if they catch too many teams practicing there. And so I don't know if hopefully we can have a fall ball at least. Because I'm already disappointed about everything that's been shut down, senior year. But now, if softball gets shut down, I guess it's how it is for everybody. So, what can you say?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
But I think we will end up having at least fall ball, hopefully.
I hope, yep. And we really hope. We would be really excited about that. And it would be really hard. That'd be one thing that would be really hard to give up. There's a lot of things that were hard to give up this year for a lot of people, but that was something that I was just super excited about. It's something about seeing a team of young men coming together, the unity of the team, coming together as a unit, as one. These guys are amazing athletes. They've got potential, a lot of potential to play together as a team, play well. And it actually... probably one reason I get so passionate about that is because it's the same way in life. And so it's just unity will pull together, and if we can't work in unity, then who are we? Whether we're a church, whether we're an organization, whether we're a business. And so it's just amazing to see these young men come together and work together as a team from different walks of life, different cultures, come together and work together as a unit. So it's been incredible being their coach.
Yeah,
so.
And it's been. We got Mr. Jane.
Yeah.
Sorry, I got to get used to this whole thing.
That's okay.
I don't usually call him Mr. Jane, but we try to not disclose each other's names in this podcast for privacy reasons.
Right, amen.
So if you could just bleep out all the times I said your name. So we got John Allen as our coach last year, and for fall ball, and we really saw an improvement in fall ball from the regular season. just because having a guy like him around the team every game, and just the positive influence he was, and he got some legendary moments like his come on man. No, we got here. You got to give it one time. Let's hear it.
Come on, Marin,
Yeah.
let's go.
Yeah.
Hit me a big one. Okay, anyway. Enough of my Marin.
You got to watch some of our games, and you'll know what
you
that
got to come to
means.
the games. Definitely come to the games. Yep. And it's actually been it's been a legendary thing. Like my kids have picked it up, and that's what I heard screaming around the house for weeks after softball season ended last year. And so it's been really good. And something else I wanted to touch on is just a shout out to the young people this year that are seniors in high school. I've got one right here sitting beside me, and it's just been amazing to see them keep their chin up, just try and stay positive, stay focused. It's been really, really hard. I mean, this year will never come back to these guys again. This was their senior year, something they dreamt of ever since they've been in high school, is graduating. Whether it's the banquets they go to, whether it's their senior trip, all of it is just canceled. It's done. And when they walked out of school, little did they know that it was goodbye till the end of the year. So just a shout out to them. And if we could remember to just, if we knew anything special for them, just do something to help make what would be the ending of their school term coming up here soon. Just reach out to them and do something cool. And just encourage them to keep pressing forward and keeping their chin up. So I'm really proud of you for that.
Thank you. Yeah. It's been a crazy year. I mean, everybody's going through it. It's not like I can say, oh man, my life just sucks, or because it really doesn't. But I miss a lot of things this year. But I mean, what can you do? It's not just me that's missing out on stuff. It's everybody. It's every senior, and not only that, it's everybody. There's people that it's worse for. There's people that have families and are out of work, and have no way to pay the bills, and I can't complain because a few things got taken from me.
Yeah. And also one thing, we do want to remember that a lot of things have been stripped away from us, but one common thing that Great Dane and I share is a love for God and a passion to serve Him and walk with Him. And just one thing we want to remember is that there's a lot of things were stripped away in our life, but let's remember the one thing that will never be stripped away from us, and we can hang on to that. That's Jesus Christ. So we're thankful for that. Was there anything else you wanted to touch on?
I'm not sure. We talked about my car a little bit at the beginning, and we talked about Tom Brady and the Buccaneers, and we talked about Jalen Hurts, and we touched on some other things. And right now, I'm actually driving, which I don't know how safe this is if I'm driving, but you can see I keep my eyes on the road.
Unless he's looking at you or me.
Right.
For the most part. I reach over every once in a while. Like if you see my hand go, so anyway.
Right. So this vehicle that we're driving, we talk a lot about vehicles in this podcast.
We do.
We are vehicle junkies, you could say.
Yeah, absolutely. It's one thing we share and have in common, definitely.
Right. Like we both could fix a tractor any day of the week.
Take it apart and
put it back together. Yep.
We even change our own oil.
That's right. And at one time, I changed my brake pads and put a new thing in my car.
That's pretty bad if you don't know how you go on. But let's just be honest. One thing we have in common that we depend on a lot. I mean, YouTube is great.
Right.
I mean, you can pretty much fix anything. Just that one little click of a red button, and you just enter in what you want. I even fixed my window over here. Like the window fell down into the door. Wow, I put a new motor in it. I was pretty proud of that.
Yeah. So we've had some of the drives home from market have been a bit rough. So one thing we do a lot of times is we might do this after we shut the podcast off.
Absolutely.
We might play the ABC game. And, I mean, for me it's not usually rough, but John's had a rough go of it lately. So he claims that he has never lost an ABC game. But I started working here, half a year ago?
Yeah.
Something like that.
Yeah.
John has never won. He's won
last week.
He won last week.
My name?
Mr. Jane.
Yeah, there you go.
Mr. Jane won one time, and that was last week. And I've been working here for half a year. And he claims he's never lost before I came. Or before we came.
Honest.
And I don't really know how that works. Maybe they never played. But yeah. So that's one thing.
You gotta make me look bad on our podcast?
No, just on the first one.
Okay.
But yeah, so we usually pick at each other a little bit, or I pick at him and he...
Definitely, honestly, guys,
he
bully.
plays victim.
Bully. bullied to no end. And honestly, back behind us, I don't know if you can see her or not, but back behind us we got Great Dane's sister. And
I'm not a bully.
listen, she
do
is
not-
a bully. Guys,
You're
bully.
just sensitive.
John is pretty sensitive, but we won't talk about that too much. Yeah, John usually plays victim, and
Definitely.
I just like to tease people, so yeah, and I tease them a little bit. And
Yeah. And you know, sometimes on our podcast we might just crack some good jokes. So like him and
might
I,
do
it's
some-
another thing we share is really lame jokes, like the crutch style, where it, you know, really takes a handle to lean on. And so we kind of get dry. We have dry humor.
yeah,
So.
and also we might do some rap battles later on.
Yeah.
Because we're pretty, you know, we're pretty hood, as you
Yeah.
can tell.
Yeah.
You know. But anyhow, yeah. So, thanks for tuning in, guys.
Yep. Absolutely.
It's been a lot of fun, and yeah, we're gonna keep doing this. This is actually good times.
This is good times.
We hope people listen to this, and even if nobody listens to this, you know, it's a good time.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
We can look back on this.
Absolutely. We look back on it. You guys can look back on it. Thank you for joining the Post-Market Gems here. That is all for tonight. Tune in next Saturday night at 4:30. If you liked our video, hit the like, subscribe, and any topics you would like us to talk about, just drop them in the comments below. Thank
Yes,
you guys.
sir. Peace out.
Peace out.